Welcome to the first episode of Deck Laboratory, where we try to improve on what some might say are bad decks. Today I have Nordic Dinomorphia. Before I start, do you use Small World? I'd appreciate it if you comment below your best targets for it. As you can see, this season my Nordic account started at Silver rank and is currently in Diamond 4 with a 5-game win streak, so there was a lot of testing up to this point. Here is our deck profile and a side deck that I would use depending on the decks people are using on the ladder. This deck revolves around saying no and then hitting them in the face really hard. We want to go first so we can set up all of our negates. When we go second, we still have 5 different hand traps that will hopefully slow them down. The cards can be divided into 3 groups: Nordic, Dinomorphia, and hand traps. I will go over them in detail after the guided duel. So let's check out what this deck can do. Assuming they have Maxi or no hand traps, we open pretty good. We normal summon Smith to add Svalin, link into Govig to banish Alvis. Alvis' effect to send 3 Nordic monsters to their grave from our deck, whose levels add to 10, including another copy of Alvis to summon Odin. We set Svalin and pass. I Maxi on their draw phase and it resolves. They attempt to use Pot of Desires, but I negate it with Ash. They special summon Vishuddha to link into Monk and we start drawing cards. Vishuddha bounces Svalin, removing my negate. They probably think they can win, so they start committing into their plays. Literally no respect for the Nordics. I drew the best card in our deck, which is Chaos Hunter. Now they can't banish cards while this is on the field. Mo Yi and Long Yuan both summon a token. They end up synchroing for Baxia to spin back by a hunter. Mo Yi draws a card. They start going into their banish plays and add Vishuddha back to their hand. They synchro summon Chengying. Long Yuan burns for 1200. And now they banish 3 monsters for Protoss. And look who's back. I resummon Hunter, negating their Chengying banish effect. Protoss destroys light monsters, and now no one can special summon light monsters until their next turn. I banish Alvis to summon Thor. They use up the remaining resources to link summon a Shaman and another copy of Monk. We finally enter the battle phase. Monk attacks Hunter. Shaman effect destroys Thor. Tangyoster summoned itself, blocking Shaman's attack. Even though Chengying attacks directly, we don't really care about life points as long as we have at least 1 left. I destroy their link monsters and Chengying protects itself. I pretend that I do not have any plays left and just set 5 with a monster in defense. I hold off on using Frenzy because I needed to know what that last card in hand was just to be safe. They have nothing and just attack my Smith. On main phase 2 I use Frenzy. I Ash their Maxi. I send Stealth Bergia and Theresia to the grave to summon Rexterm. Now they have nothing left and I am free to do whatever I want. I start by activating Rexterm to lower Chengying's attack, and now they run away. Clearly, their problem was they didn't know Chengying is actually a Toon monster, but that's for another video. Now, for our Nordic lines, when we link summon Govig, we can banish up to 3 cards. Ideally, we would chain Hippo Carnival to summon 3 tokens and then banish those. We would summon Boar, Goat, and if you do not have Svalin, summon the Smith, otherwise you summon Alvis, and then we can synchro into Thor. Since Thor was summoned properly, when it gets destroyed, it can summon itself at the end phase by banishing the Boar. If we do not want to banish 3 cards, we can banish a single copy of Alvis instead. This will let you summon 1 Nordic monster, usually Smith or another Alvis, and then we can send that monster to the grave along with 2 other Nordic monsters from the deck whose level equal to 10 to summon Odin. Once per duel, if Alvis is in the grave and a Nordic god is sent from your field to the grave due to an opponent's card, we can summon another god directly from the extra deck. For the Dinomorphia lines, we can either normal summon Theresia and set Frenzy directly from the deck, or just set Frenzy if you draw it. On our opponent's main phase, pay half of your life points to fusion summon Kentrigina by sending Theresia and Stealthbird to the grave. We can pay another half to banish Frenzy from the grave to send Threzia and Stealthbird to summon Rexterm. Rexterm can then use another half of your life points to have all of your opponent's monsters' attacks match your life points. Rexterm prevents the activation of your opponent's monster effects if their attacks are equal or higher than your life points. At this point, you will probably only have 1000 or less life points. I play 6 different hand traps. Ash, Maxi, and Imperm are always good to have. I think Maxi is pretty useless if your opponent can just play into it and then kill you if you do not have any interruption, so I have Nibiru and Chaos Hunter. Both pair extremely well with Maxi, and they both counter decks like Tri-Brigade, Mathmech, Swordsoul, and Despia. Since Chaos Hunter prevents our opponents from banishing cards, it also counters Runicks. Red Reboot helps if they try to imperm your plays on turn 1, or just generally negate traps for a turn. If I draw Pot of Prosperity, I will usually banish Black Rose, the second Odin, Barone, Gustav Max, Libe, and Zeus. All of these cards are useful on the deck, but sometimes that one extra card can make a difference. As for the side deck, Rescue Cat summons 2 Nordic beasts from your deck. Lancia can replace Chaos Hunter, since it does not counter Flu as they need to special summon a monster before you can summon it. Eschatos prevents a special summon of a monster type. Acid Golem is a rank 3 monster with 3000 attack that pairs well with Skill Drain and Rescue Cat. Anti-Magic Arrows is a quick play spell that activates at the start of the battle phase that prevents the activation of spells and traps during that battle phase. Just like Super Poly, neither player can respond to it. Magic Deflector is a slow card, but it can negate all spell cards activated for one turn. Evenly Matched is good if you end up going second a lot. End of the Line is an amazing draw card, and with the Dinomorphia cards, it's not too crazy to have less than 10 life points. Soul Drain prevents monster effect activation in the grave or that are banished. Mind Drain prevents monster effect activation from either hand. I have prepared some replays against Mathmech and Runicks that might interest you, so thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I hope it was somewhat insightful and you enjoyed the video. If you feel like it would help me a lot if you were to like, subscribe, and let me know what you think of this deck. Until next time!